Okay. Right. So we're still at paper 2. So the videos are on lesson 43. So I hope you'll take the time to watch the videos and attempt the questions, as well as the questions that we go through at the third section. So the first part is the one that you're submitted, and you know which are the questions that you got wrong, right? Okay, now everyone, can you camera on, please? So that I know I'm not talking to just Hannah, Pranati, and Sharon. Thank you. Okay. All right. Now, for question, yeah. Okay. Now, for question 1, who got it wrong? For question 1, Amelia, Shamin, Hannah, Niall, and Pranati. What happened? Okay. Basically, when you see algebra, don't be afraid to actually draw model as well. It is similar to using units or parts. Okay. Now it says here, Jill collected 2M bottles. So Jill collected 2M, which was half as many as what Kelson. So what Jill collected was half the number that Kelson collected. So Kelson collected twice the number of bottles that Jill collected. And Timmy collected more than Kelson. So Timmy collected 9 more than Kelson. Copy everything else. Okay, so this is the total. So to find the total would just be, there are 2 parts to it. The first part is to count the number of bottles with M, and then the second part is just 9. Okay, so then they give you the M there. So how many M should there be? How many M should there be? Anyone? Thank you, Pranati. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 M. All right. Okay, so be very careful when you see things like this. If you're not sure, right, please draw the model so that you are more familiar with it. Okay, so this is your algebra question. Question number 2. So we have swimming club has 100 male and 50 female members. So 100 male and 50 female members. Now, 10% or 1/10 of the male members are students. So that means I have to split it into students and non-students. So similarly, for the female, we also have students and non-students. Okay. Now, 1/10 of the male are students. So that's 1/10 of 100 to give me 10. And 2 out of 5 of the female. So that's 2 over 5 times 50 to give me 20. So what do I have here? 30 and 90. So they both must add up to give you 100 for the male and 50 for the female. Now, question says, what percentage of the members are students? So what percentage of the members are students? So to find out, we know it must be against the total. Students would be 10 plus 20 to give me 30. So percentage members are 30 out of 150 times 100%. Thank you, Hannah. So from here, remember, we are finding percentage. So to find percentage means we need to multiply by 100%. So please take note. All right, so remember this. So we will have 1 and 5, 20%. Okay, now when you're using your calculator, because this is paper 2, do not key in this percentage. Otherwise, you will multiplying 100 twice. Okay, do not key in the percentage. Okay, so we have the next question, number 3. Okay, when you have questions like this, the first thing you need to do is look at the graph. Look at the graph and decide, write down what are the number of highlighters. Okay, so we're talking about the graph shows the number of color highlighters sold by a shop. So find out how many highlighters of each color was sold by the shop. Now, before you can find out the number, you need to find out what is the value of each division. Can anyone tell me what's the value of each of these division? Anyone? 5. Okay, so how many green? So Heidi says 5, that's right. So how many green highlighters did the shop sell? Oh, first, second, third, fourth is confusing, is it? Okay. I shall take note of that. Okay. Okay, now, so we have, now how many green highlighters were sold? Sharon says 55. Thank you, Sharon. And blue highlighters will be blue highlighters. How many? 85. Thank you, Heidi. Red highlighters will be, thank you, Heidi, 35. And finally, black highlighters will be how many? Thank you, Sharon. Okay. So we have green, blue, red, and black. Okay. Question says, what fraction of the highlighters sold were black highlighters? So what fraction of the highlighters sold? That means against the total sold. Now, what is the total number of highlighters sold? So you have to add up all these numbers. Total would be equal to how many? How many highlighters were sold? Anyone? Thank you, Pranati. 200. So if I add up all these numbers, I'll get 200. So out of 200 highlighters, what fraction of them were black? So it's 25. So from here, we can see that simplify. Thank you, Hannah. So it is 1/8. So simplify this, divide by 25. I get this. Now, from the sale of the highlighters, which colored highlighters collected the least amount of money? So for the shop to be collecting the least amount of money, the condition would be, what's the condition? It must be the cheapest and the least or the fewest number sold. Okay, it must be the cheapest and the fewest number sold. So now, between this, the cheapest is red. Okay, the cheapest is red. And the fewest number sold between black and red. But because black is expensive, we go with a red. Red only 35. So if you were to compare black and red, so black is 25 highlighters times $3 to give me $75, whereas red will be 35 times 120, which is equals to $42. So this means that, okay, which color highlighters collect the least amount of money would be red. By how much? By $42. Yeah. Okay, now we're so close to PSLE. Everybody better make sure that you all are hydrated with the weather like this. Okay. All right. Question. Anyone has questions on this? No? Okay, so we're gonna go on to question number 4. Okay, let's see. Question number 4 is a speed question. Who got it right now? Let me see. Question number 4. Oh, only Pauline got it right. Well done, Pauline. Okay, not too bad. Okay, now, let's see. So we have Charles and Keith. Charles and Keith were started jogging at the same time. So the clue is same time along the route shown. So start and end. So we have the start here and the end. And this is the halfway point. Okay. Now, both did not change their speed throughout, but after 45 minutes, so let's say Charles is here. After 45 minutes, Charles was at the halfway point. So, after 45 minutes, Charles was at the halfway point. Okay. Now, and Keith was 450 meters behind. So, Keith at the 45-minute mark, at 45 minutes, he was 450 meters behind Charles. So that means when Charles is here, Keith is only here. Okay, then Charles reached the end point. So that means if Charles took 45 minutes to cover halfway, that means he will take another 45 minutes to reach the end point. So remember, both did not change their speed. So if Charles took 45 minutes for the first half, for the second half of the distance, he would have taken another 45 minutes. Now, and if Keith were to continue, okay, he would, if he double this distance that he moved, that means in 45 minutes, he would have been 900 meters away from the end point. Okay, he would be 900 meters away from the end point and 4 minutes before Keith. So that means Charles reached 4 minutes before Keith. That means when Charles is here, Keith is at this point here, if you see. That means for Keith to complete the journey to reach the end point, he needs another 4 minutes. Okay, so he needs another 4 minutes. Okay, you follow? Okay. So, yeah. Now, okay, I'm gonna just explain this one more time, because somebody with me. Okay, wait, So we have Charles here. When Charles covered 45 minutes, he is at the halfway mark. Whereas, where is Keith? Keith would be at this point here. So when Charles is here, okay, Keith is here, which is 450 meters from the halfway point. Okay, now then when, I enlarge this. So when Charles continue and complete the journey, that means if he complete halfway in 45 minutes, the remaining half he complete in 45 minutes also, right? So if I follow the same pattern, that means when Charles is here, Keith is only here. Okay, I'm going to highlight it. So Keith is only at this point when Charles is at the pink point. Which means, do I know what is the distance? It must be twice of this, which is 900 meters. So we double everything. So if I were to put it simply, when Charles covered 45 minutes, half a distance, Keith is only at 1 unit. So I double it. 1 unit, he's still 450 meters short. Then when I double it to another 1 unit, because Charles completed the journey, Keith would have an extra 900 meters. Okay. Now, because Charles reached 4 minutes before Keith, that means this distance here that Keith must cover will take him 4 minutes. You follow? All right. So with this, we can actually find, with these two information, okay, we can actually find the speed